We ended last week with some thoughts about self-compassion and treating yourself as if you were one of your friends that came to you with problems that they wanted to talk to you about, and showing yourself that same compassion and heartfelt appreciation for what they're going through. So we're going to start this week with some practical tips taken straight from the Telomere effect. Tip number 1, self-compassion break. During the stressful situation, say to yourself, whatever is true about the situation. This is painful. This is stressful. This is really hard right now. Acknowledge that suffering is a part of life. Say something that reminds you that you are not alone in the suffering, like we all struggle in our lives. Put your hands over your heart or any place that is comforting and say, may I be kind to myself. Or any other statement that affirms compassion for yourself. I especially like saying, I accept myself for who I am, and I am a work in progress. This is awkward at first, but it gets easier, and you believe it the more you do it. Take it from me. I'm betting there will be some incident today for you to give this a try. Go ahead, try it. All right, so tip number 2 for self-compassion and for love for ourselves and that little telomere effect lengthening and keeping them strong for a long health span. Manage that inner voice. Yeah, the book calls it our eager assistant. Eckhart Tolle calls it our ego. It's been called a lot of things in a lot of different books that I've read. Whatever you want to call it, it's a critic. The little voice in our head wants us to believe we're a failure. So that, no one likes what you do, that you're doing whatever it is you're doing in the wrong way. So how do we manage it? Well, if we get angry at it, we're just getting angry at ourselves, and there goes our self-compassion right out the window. Rather than fight or try to banish the pesky voice, let's try accepting it. Funny, but isn't that what we're supposed to do with others too? Didn't Jesus accept us as we are? And just because we accept our inner voice or others doesn't mean that the voice is saying the truth. If we view the ego as an overachieving assistant, then we can agree that he might mean well, but he has no idea what he's talking about. And with this approach, the ego has much less control over us. I dare you to try it today. I try not to speak word for word from the book, The Telomere Effect, as I in no way want to make people think that I am the author of these great ideas. I try to assimilate and make it understandable for myself, hoping it is for you as well. However, tip number 3 can't be said any other way. So here it is. What do you want on your tombstone? What is your epitaph? This goes back to purpose in life, and a strong purpose increases telomerase and subsequently our health span. So how do you want to be remembered? The book cites a few examples, things like devoted father and husband, or a friend to everyone. I especially like this one. If you don't climb the mountain, you can't view the plain. At this moment in my life, if I were to die tomorrow, I'd want mine to say, passionate about living life now. There's not much room on a tombstone, and that's the point. If you complete this homework, you may realize that you're bogged down by things that really, in the grand scheme of things, just aren't all that important. Can you write something down before tomorrow's video? What do you want on your tombstone? All right, tip number 4 might seem crazy, but it goes back to the research on dementia and Alzheimer's. Pursue something new. Step outside your box or your comfort zone and engage in a new activity that is meaningful and fulfilling. Pursuing a new dream is stressful, but if we accept the challenge, we grow and thrive. I am working to build a new health and wellness business. Here I am making these daily videos, reaching out to people, asking you to take a look at your health and rethink your own health span. It's an exciting venture, yet challenging and a bit stressful because I fear that I don't have anything of value to say. You see, that's the little assistant, that inner voice or ego talking. I do my best to take a small step toward my goal every day, but when I fall short, I am learning not to beat myself up. Well, so what's something new you can try? Maybe it's not a business venture. Maybe it's learning a new skill or hobby. Or maybe you're unhappy in your job and you need to make a change but are afraid. Stop listening to your ego, to that little assistant, and just go for it. Knowing your thinking style is all important. If you're still following my videos, we've spent 3 weeks discussing your thinking style and the effects on your health. The Telomere effect is worth the purchase just to take the test at the end of chapter 5 that will help you understand how you think. As Aristotle said, knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. Are you an optimist? Do you have positive thoughts and expect positive outcomes? Or are you a pessimist and expect negative outcomes? Are you hostile or have hostile behaviors? Do you ruminate or spend oodles of time thinking over past events or what the future is going to hold? Being a pessimist, being hostile toward others, and ruminating all have detrimental effects on our telomeres, which shorten our health span and lengthen our disease span. On the contrary, conscientious, a purpose-filled life, along with the optimistic outlook on life, correlates to longer telomeres and longer health spans. We can learn how to change our thinking minds to becoming more aware and more mindful. I don't know about you, but I have the opportunity to practice these tips nearly every day, and I'm here to testify that they get easier to carry out. So, have a good weekend, think about your thinking styles, and on Monday, we'll start anew.